Hey everyone, this is Callie Teegardin coming live out of Sugar Land, Texas today in my home office. You're probably getting used to this view. Coming to you today with Good Life, Great Life, lesson number 5, desire and faith, and what does that have to do with everything in the world and your goals and moving from this concept of what we call the good life to the great life. And if this is the first one you've seen, I want to explain what I mean by moving from the good life to the great life. The good life is where you're at right now. You might be comfortable living a good life, and your goal is to move into what I call the great life. And when I had this thought about the great life, I used to have a saying on my desk that says, is your good life getting in the way of your great life? And I thought great life meant more money, bigger house, more stuff, right? And what I've realized over the last several years, that moving from my good life to my great life is becoming true to who I am, becoming me, finding my purpose in life. And when you do that, it seems like everything else takes care of itself. And so I am on my journey from my good life to my great life. I'm absolutely loving life, having a lot of fun with it. And so I am sharing the lessons that I'm learning along the way, the ones that I've already been through. And so today, it's about faith and desire. So one of my absolute favorite quotes is, desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible. Again, desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible. And that quote comes out of this book right here, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I've read it a few times, was at a seminar several years ago, recommended read, actually have the full book, and it wasn't the easiest to read, I will tell you. And the first time was really hard. Now that I've read it more times, one, because when it was written, the English is a little bit different, but getting my mindset around how powerful the mind is, and that desire backed by faith, right? So if you have a desire, if you have a dream, you have a thought, if you believe you can do it and you take action on doing it, the sky is the limit. You can actually accomplish anything in the world that you want. And I've been really thinking about this lately, one, in my life, like what are my next goals? What am I looking to accomplish? And this thought, this quote has really been there. There are times when I have set goals, especially around my business, primarily getting into the next promotion level, my executive and senior executive promotions and send out cards. And when I set them, I didn't know how I was going to do them. And they were big goals, especially senior executive. I remember looking back at that and setting the goal that I would do it by an event. And I wasn't even close. And I knew it would happen, right? I knew I could do it. And I put that in my mind and I started believing it and I started taking action. And I think that's such an important piece of this, right? And I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, how I was going to make it happen. Didn't know who was going to come into my business, who I was going to work with, but I knew I had to take the right next step. And I knew that I had to believe that it was possible. Because here's the thing, if you can dream something in your life, it's possible. I believe that God does not put dreams in our lives to say, sorry, you can dream that, but it can't happen. They are possible if you can dream it. Now, it's not going to always be easy, right? I think sometimes in life, God, the universe, whatever your belief is around that, is going to test us and say, is this really what you want? Is this what you want? Then show me. Take the actions, right? And it's through those actions and it's through that belief and through that desire that amazing, amazing things can happen in your life. I was recently in a group, I was asking about if you couldn't fail, if you knew you couldn't fail, what is one thing you can do in life? And I was communicating with a lot of people in that group, and I believe that if you believe it can happen, it will. And you may be looking at that situation right now saying, I don't know. I don't know how to make this happen. I don't know. And that's okay, because it starts with a dream. It starts with the desire. And then it's creates belief behind that, right? The stories in our mind become the stories of our lives. My CEO, Cody Bateman, says that all the time, and it's true. And you may not know how to get from point A to point B yet, but if you believe it'll happen, you're going to start getting ideas, right? Act on those ideas. You never know where they're going to take you. You never know who's going to come into your life at the right moment. It's all about believing, right? This unshakable belief. If you can create that behind your dreams, and as you get those promptings to take action, you take action, it'll happen. It really can happen for you. No matter what's happened in the past, no matter what it seems so impossible, it can happen. I am a big believer in that. My life is that, right? There's so many things that have happened in my life that I didn't know how they were going to happen, but I believed and I started taking action on them. And so if this is something that's new to you, a new concept, couple recommendations: read this book, Think and Grow Rich. Absolutely love this book. It is a game changer for anyone that reads it. Another book that I read, I think it was last year, that I'd highly recommend, and it could even be the first book that you read. This is by the Think and Grow Rich Foundation. It's a book called 3 Feet from Gold. It follows this gentleman on his path in starting to believe. If you like more of a story type of book, then 3 Feet from Gold. If you're ready for the Big Daddy, Think and Grow Rich. And know that desire, right? Desire is that thing you really want, that thing you're dreaming about. You desire backed by faith, right? And so that's the belief. That's the belief, that unshakable belief that this can happen for you. Knows no such word as impossible. Follow your dreams. Go after it. Is it always going to be easy as you're going after your dreams? No. Are you going to feel like you're hitting your head against the wall that time? Yes. And one of the things in the process, one of the things that I've learned as I go for my goals and as I go for my dreams, there's going to be stuff that comes up that wants to push me off my path. And I believe that is our subconscious saying, do you really want this? Prove it to me. I'm going to throw stuff at you. I'm going to make things happen, because if this is really your dream, I want you to fight through and I want you to show me, right? Because a lot of times when we go from one point and we've got this desire or this dream, part of that is changing the beliefs, our beliefs in our subconscious. And our subconscious fights us and says, are you really sure you want to let go of that belief? And if you push through, amazing things can happen. One of my mentors, Jordan Adler, talks about how the lift is in the turbulence. He was a hand glider, jumped off mountains with a thing strapped to his back. And he always said, where you get the lift is in the turbulent air, right? That's where the lift is created. And I believe that's true in life as well. When you get into turbulent times, it's because something great is about ready to happen. But usually when we hit turbulence, our natural reaction is to pull off the brakes, pull back, not go that way, because we might take it as a sign that, oh, that's the wrong answer. But if you can learn to push through that turbulence, you can push, that's where the lift happens. That's where the greatness happens. That's where your dreams are coming true. So today's quote: desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible, right? Put it, read it. Truly, that quote changed my life. I remember reading it in the book. It's not one of the famous quotes, but I was underlining it. I grabbed out a note card, put it on my desk. So desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible. Napoleon Hill. Thanks for listening, and we'll chat soon. Bye now.